Hello, everyone. My name is Joe Tibbs, and I'm the president of Hap Evolve, and I am extremely pleased to have with me today Sherry Kolb, who is the president of one of HAPevolve's endorsed partners, Qualivis, and just incredibly happy to have Sherry with us today to talk about some of the things that she's been seeing relative to hospital staffing and just some of the major challenges that are facing hospitals today. Sherry, welcome to this call. Thank you so much for spending some time with me.
Thank you, Joe. I'm happy to be here.
So Sherry, before we jump in, tell us a little bit about yourself and more importantly about Qualivis.
So Joe, thank you so much for asking. So Qualivis is a workforce solutions program, and we're not a staffing agency. So that's the first thing I like to say. I actually helped develop Qualivis 19 years ago through a South Carolina Association Duke Endowment grant. And my background was in nursing. I'd worked in South Carolina hospitals for 18 years prior to coming to the Hospital Association here in South Carolina. And the reality is, with my nursing background and my leadership background in hospitals, we wanted to develop a program for South Carolina hospitals to be able to utilize any temporary staffing with flexibility and accountability to increase the quality and the performance and the collaboration between those entities.
Great. Sherry, that's a great segue. I would love for you to share with us some of the challenges that, as you work with hospitals, not just in Pennsylvania, but across the country. When you work with them, what are some of the challenges that they're looking to solve for as it relates to their staffing strategies?
So, there's not any hospital that I speak to and have spoken to over the last 19 years that doesn't have at least some type of workforce challenge. So really what we try to do is we listen. And as we listen, we want to develop very specific plans for each hospital, because you have to individualize the service that you provide to each one of them.
Sherry, can you elaborate a little bit of how you've worked with hospitals, identified some of their pain points, and really applied some of your unique solutions to those organizations?
Let's say a hospital hasn't used any temporary staff, but they want to open up 12 new OR suites. So they may not have the staff within their own core people to staff that, increase the revenue stream through their OR suites. We can bring teams in, get that up and going while they're recruiting for their permanent positions. So there are so many examples of where using a temporary workforce may not be a permanent solution, but certainly one to consider when you have special projects.
Talk to me a little bit about what are some things that hospitals should look at as they're looking at their staffing strategy as ways to either improve quality or reduce cost?
So I think when we think about reducing cost and increasing quality, that is the whole reason Qualivis was established. That also includes cost effectiveness. So the reality is, we know because we have a whole panel of staffing agencies, we don't rely on just one to supply these necessary clinicians or staff. And then you think about vision. Where does that hospital want to go? Do they want to reduce their use of supplemental staff? How can we help them do that? We can also help with permanent recruitment. We can help bring in international nurses. We can help with RPO programs, anything like that. We really want to develop with the hospital a very collaborative, long-term relationship. And as a matter of fact, I will add that 95% of our hospitals that sign with us are still with us today. So we have a very high retention rate, and it really is built upon these relationships.
Our two organizations, Hap Evolve has been partnered with Qualivis for a significant amount of time now. And as you've worked with us, what was the value that you saw in working with Hap Evolve?
So the value of working with Hap Evolve is you guys know your members, you know your hospitals, you know your state. That is a large part of what makes Qualivis Qualivis.
If people watching this video series wanted to learn more about Qualivis, where would you tell them to go to get more information?
So if anyone is interested in learning more about Qualivis, just go to our website, qualivis.com.